What's going on, everybody? My name's Inefficient. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to have a look at how you build Etho Shulker storage system. Say that 5 times fast. Let's get into it. Alright, so for those that might not be familiar with the Shulker box storage system that Etho designed here, I definitely recommend going and checking out his video. If you're going to build it on Bedrock, don't follow his instructions because they won't work for you. So I've got the adaptation that you're going to need here. But he'll do more justice for how he uses the system. So the way I've got it set up here is I've just used green Shulker boxes as my dump chest. So if I come in, I have extra items, I just throw it all in here until it starts to fill up. And then inside the barrel here, I'll have individual Shulker boxes that I'm starting to partially fill with just individual items. So one of those is sitting here already, and it's got my mossy stone. So if I was to, just show you guys exactly how it works, I'd go in there. Now I'd look at my barrel and say, all right, next I want to do cobblestone. So all I'm doing is pressing Q. It throws it on top of here, swaps it out. Now my cobble box is ready. So I can grab that out, throw it all in. And maybe do stone next. Grab my stone out. And just like that, you've got your Shulker box storage system, just like Etho. Over here is where you'd put your full ones. So once you start filling up Shulker boxes, they go over here. Overhead is where you'd have the corresponding Shulker box that would go inside of your ender chest. So this is where he would fill that up, and above is where he would, pre-fill all of these with the items that are going to be in each Shulker box. So the way this works, there's only 25 slots. I'm not actually sure how he handles the fact that there's 27 in a Shulker box. So I guess he just puts 25 in each. I'm not really sure. Maybe somebody in the comments can let me know. But that seems to be anyway the way he's got it set up above. So you would just fill in the 5 items in here and then fill in back stock of those 5 items. And that way what you can do is come in, take the partially empty Shulker box out of your ender chest and then just swap it with the one up on the roof. He does a better explanation in his video, so link in the description for that. One little thing here, just like he had, is just a button on the middle crafting table so that you can get more Shulker boxes. And if I just pop into the floor here, it's literally just sitting right below the floor with a few hoppers running into it, and I just put some backlog of items. I didn't do anything fancy here. Not sure if he did, but I figured that'll do. All right, so let's have a quick conversation about orientation now before we get into how we build this. So I've got it set up here with the barrel sort of at the backside, and that way you're sort of accessing it and throwing it. It's just nice and convenient, right? Technically, you can orient it the other way too. So if I come over here, you'll see that this one's got the barrels over on the sides. So it's just another way you can think about it. Now your drop chests are in the middle. The only downside is, you gotta, maybe I should have had this the other way around so that you're walking in this way and you gotta access everything from the side. So, you've got options. They tile right next to each other. Doesn't matter which orientation you put them in. You can line them up directly beside each other like you see here, or like you see over here. And then you could put them one block apart, which is what I did inside of here. And, I think it makes sense to have them a block apart, and then you've got your row that you can put in your identifiers for that category. Right, let's get into building. All right, so as for space for each of the slices of the storage system, we're going to need 3 blocks in below the floor. So this will be your floor layer up here. So technically it's 4 tall. It's going to be 4 wide and then 3 deep. And then technically on the one side, you'll want to sort of just accommodate for having just a little bit more space for flooring on that one side. Now these can stack, this one could technically, the next one could start right here. But then whenever that ends, as you see over here, it just kind of like ends abruptly. And if you wanted to continue the pattern of how we're doing the, what do you call them here? The carpets, then just accommodate for one more block at the very end. As for everything we're going to need for each slice of the storage system, I've got it all set up down here. So this is going to be what you need for every slice. So that times, 20, 22, depending how many slices you're going to build. On top of that, for each slice, you're going to need 10 moss carpet to make it exactly like, or any kind of carpet for that matter. But that's just if you're going to make the top section look the way Etho did. And I kind of like that, so I recommend it. And then, of course, you're going to need some random building blocks of choice. And that's just going to go around the floors and support our moss carpet. That being said, we're going to kick off on this block right here with a 4-tick repeater facing towards the middle. Solid block in behind it. 4-tick repeater running into that. Solid block. Piece of dust. Alright, so from here we're going to go observer, watching the 4-tick repeater that's closest to the middle. We'll get our droppers in next, and that's going to be facing upwards, facing towards the back. And then we'll just sort of build our way up here so that we have one facing into it there. So this one's facing into here. This one's facing up. This one is going to be facing into a barrel. Oh, I like to put my barrels upside down because I just like the bottom side texture. And there you go. Next, we will get our dispenser. And we're going to put that facing upwards directly above our dust. Next up, we're going to grab our hoppers. We're going to run these into the dispenser on the middle one. And then on the front side, we're going to run that into our dropper, like so. From here, we can get our mud on top of the one and our string on top of the other hopper. And we can go ahead and put in our temporary, I shouldn't say temporary, but put in our dump chest. So let's go. Going to be where we put all of our items just as we're quickly dumping them off. Over here, we can put in our first shulker box as well. So this will be the one that gets filled up with items that are, dedicated to the shulker box, so all stone, for instance. Next, let's wire up the back here. So let's just put a temporary block in, another temporary, come up like so, and then out by 2. We're going to have a comparator in here, followed by 2 dust and a 4-tick repeater. Last couple of steps here. Let's put our piston in, solid block, and our double chest. Like so. Perfect. Last but not least, let's put a couple of temporary blocks or whatever's going to be your floor. And then at the back, we're going to use glass because if you're running these next to each other, you got to make sure this dust doesn't power this block, which would power the neighboring slice. So last thing we got to do is put in the 10 pieces of carpet here. Obviously, it can be any carpet you like. You don't technically have to do this, but that's the way Etho designed it. So that's the way we're going to do it. And that's all there is to it. The top side of things, I don't know if this even really needs a dedicated tutorial. It's just, 5 chests and 5 hoppers all facing into the one block that is the pre-filled shulker. You'll just have to keep in mind that you're filling up, 5 individual different kinds of items up in here, and then you're filling up all of the backlog of those items. So you want to make sure you're keeping these full up here. And that's if you're going to use that section as well. Of course, you don't have to. This works just perfectly fine by itself. Alright guys, that's going to do it for today. Hope you enjoyed. Make sure you hit that like, subscribe button, all that good stuff, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.